not your will, but what God wills. Mark chapter 14, verse 36. You see the same thing. Jesus is stating that fact that the Lord could allow any and all things which are contingent with his divine will. We can see the same thing as he was saying, Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. Remove this cup from me. But look what he says. Yet not what I will, but what you will. See, this is the way we ought to be reacting in all of our difficult times. It isn't what I want. It's what you want. Even if you can't understand it. I remember, because I grew up in a poor household, even after me and Lucy got married, and the girls wanted new tennis shoes and all that kind of stuff. And Lucy would come to me and say, John, I said, wait a minute. Is there holes in the other tennis shoes? No. I said, we ain't going to get nothing. Now, I got to tell you the truth, and I love Lucy and everything, but you know, that was her babies. And Saturday came, they'd always, Mark knows because he used to go riding with them sometime. Saturday come, they jump in the car, and they go to the mall. And she'd get them those shoes and all that. And I would say, why did you do that? When they didn't need no shoes, they could have worn. All the other kids got to have some new shoes. Why couldn't they have it? Now me, I couldn't rationalize that. I said, wait. I go in their closet, they each got about 4 or 5 pairs of shoes. Now every time a kid gets a new pair of shoes at the school, they got to get one like that. And now you got, no. Now we're living in economically hard times. Teach these children to wear what they have. And say no. And you'll have that extra $35. If you got 4 children like he got, you'll have that extra $150 or whatever you have. Think about it. Now let me give you another scripture that I hopefully backs that up. In Matthew chapter 6 verse 10, we are now directed in our consideration towards prayer. Because this is a verse out of the Lord's Prayer. When it says, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth just like it's done in heaven. See, people, if Christ said, who is my mother, who is my brothers, these are the ones. And then during difficult times, we see ourselves stressing. Have the conversation about what are you going to do. But then come up with this conclusion. There's nothing that I can do. Nothing. So what am I going to do? Put it on a cassette and listen to some praise music. What does that mean? I get a chance to talk with God. And it is a wonderful thing to talk to God. See? It says, come on, your kingdom come. In other words, this asks for nothing less than God's sovereign will to inevitably be done in our lives. You're saying, I want your sovereign will to supersede my tangible, humanistic desires. This is a wonderful thing. Nope, no personal illustrations. Okay, keep moving. One has said, at no time is our will to override his will. Now that's what the church has done. The church has overwritten God's will with their will, and then if they get a few dollars, they justify it, Mike. They justify it easily. See, look what I could do. What you do, man? I went and got a loan. You went and got a loan against a house? Yeah, I did. Did God tell you to do that? Oh, man, don't be talking no God stuff, man. I know what I got to do. Oh, all right, all right. Was your heart tugged? Hey, John, I don't want to talk, man. I got to go. I really got to go. I got to go, man. It's nice talking to you. That's the way people come across when they've done their will. Because if I did something and one of you said to me, hey, PJ, what? Was that God's will? No. Whose will was it? Mine. I overrid his. And I'm pausing like that because I'm trying to get out of it. See, I'm trying to get out of it. I overrode his. Are you ready to suffer the consequences of that? And it says, you know I'm not. And then I probably break out in tears because I knew I overrid his. Now, this is where you go wrong if you keep digging a hole trying to put me in it. What you need to do is think of your own life, and then you start crying. Because every one of us in this room and out there has overridden God's will somewhere in our lives. And that's what we do. What appears to be a hopeless contradiction is now a dilemma with God. Because, see, it looks like a contradiction in the real, but it's a dilemma because you're supposed to be, I'm supposed to be, we're supposed to be his disciples, but we are doing things that is in total contradiction of what he's told us to do in the Word. And the Word is immutable, it never changes, it remains the same. And so, therefore, we have to pay close attention to that. He is the infinite divine God who resolves all things in perfect, non-contradictory truth. God is going to bring about some things, but only through a non-contradiction means. And you know what? One thing, men don't like to do this. Men don't like to say to God, I give up. Men say, man, I'm going to work this thing out. You know, men are like, you know, a quarterback in the pocket. Man, the other team got a defensive line. We can't break. You know what? Figure yourself as a quarterback in the pocket, people. You've tried every play that came in from the sidelines. The coach is sending them in. You hear it in the headphones. You telling the coach, no, that ain't going to work. That ain't going to work. And you keep getting moved back. What does that quarterback have to do? That quarterback has to turn off the little reception from the sideline. And he has to look at the line. And then he has to say, I am a quarterback. God made me a quarterback. God, give me the strength to see what no man has never seen before. And when that center, you know, you just tap him on the rump and say, man, give me that ball on a count of 3. And then you say, oh, God, help me. And you just get it off. Just throw it. Boom. What's going to happen? God's going to guide that ball into a running back's arms. That's just like you've practiced it. Catch the ball. Touchdown. They're going to ask you on the sidelines, what was it? It says absolutely nothing. He has equipped me with an arm and that guy with a set of legs and long arms. That's what it was. That's the way God works in your life. Instead of you trying to frustrate yourself and figure this thing out. This is what I've learned this week. Don't do that. Now, look at Deuteronomy 29:29. I don't know whether you ever looked at that verse. It is the most marvelous verse. And in this verse, well, let's turn to it. All right, Deuteronomy 29:29. This is the way it reads. It says, the secret things belong to the Lord our God. Let me pause right there. The secret, see, look, you do not know what is around the corner from you. You don't know what it's going to turn out to be. Leave that to God. Then he says, but the things revealed belong to us and to our sons forever, that we may observe all the words of the law. But the secret things, such as who you're going to marry, how you're going to die, where you're going to be when you die, how much money you're going to make, how long are you going to be at that current address, whether you're going to see your grandchildren grow up, that's all secret. Leave that alone. God is saying, leave that alone. Leave it to God. There's certain things that we don't know, that we can't know. And many Christians frustrate their lives because they're trying to do the secret things. Mm-hmm. They're trying to, you know, well, I got this thing figured. You ain't got nothing figured out. Nothing. I got in my car this morning and I started up the car. Wait, I walked to the car and I said, I know these Lexuses. When the battery goes dead, it goes dead. I prayed as I was coming down the steps.